A 97-year-old man in Okinawa, Japan, wakes up at 5 a.m., not because he has to. He tends his garden, walks to a neighbor's house, eats a bowl of miso soup, and laughs. Loudly. No hospital bed, no walking frame, no pills line up on a counter. Meanwhile, across the world, people 20 years younger are already battling diabetes, heart failure, and dementia. What does he know that they don't? Here's the truth scientists have spent decades uncovering. And it's not about superfoods or expensive supplements. It's about behaviors. Specific, repeatable behaviors that add, on average, 10 quality years to a human life. Before we go further, this video is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice. Always consult your doctor before making changes to your health routine, especially if you have existing medical conditions. What we're sharing today is based on peer-reviewed research and longevity studies, but every body is different. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly 7 science-backed behaviors that seniors who live the longest have in common, and more importantly, how to start doing them today, no matter your current age or health status. Stay with me through to the end, because habit number 6 is the one most people completely overlook, and researchers say it may be the most powerful of them all. They move every single day, but not how you think. Let's start with movement, but forget everything you think you know about exercise. Long-lived seniors in places like Sardinia, Costa Rica, and Okinawa, regions researchers call blue zones. They're not hitting the gym. They don't do HIIT workouts or track their steps on a smartwatch. What they do is something researchers call natural movement, movement that's built into daily life. Gardening, kneading bread, walking to the market, climbing stairs instead of riding elevators. A landmark study published in The Lancet tracking over 130,000 people across 17 countries found that just 30 minutes of moderate physical activity per day reduced the risk of death by 28%. The key insight? Consistency beats intensity. A brisk daily walk does more for longevity than 6 brutal gym sessions, followed by 3 days on the couch. Seniors who live the longest don't exercise to look good. They move because their life requires it. And that's the difference. Start here. Add 1 20-minute walk to your daily routine. Same time every day. That's it. They eat plants until they're 80% full. You probably heard, eat more vegetables 100 times. But longevity researchers found something more precise, and it comes down to 2 rules. Rule 1, mostly plants, not exclusively. But the longest-lived seniors eat diets where 90 to 95% of food comes from whole plant sources. Beans, greens, tubers, whole grains, nuts. Meat, if eaten at all, is treated like a condiment, not a centerpiece. Beans appear in virtually every blue zone diet, eaten daily in some form. Rule 2, the 80% rule. In Okinawa, there's an ancient Confucian saying, "Hara hachibiyu," which translates roughly as, eat until you are 80% full. Before every meal, they remind themselves to stop before they feel stuffed. This one habit alone has been linked to lower rates of obesity, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. A 2022 study from the Intermountain Heart Institute found that periodic caloric reduction, eating less consistently, was one of the strongest predictors of cardiovascular health in aging adults. Start here. At your next meal, put down the fork when you feel satisfied, not full. Give it 10 minutes before going back for seconds. They have a reason to wake up. Here's where the science gets fascinating and deeply human. Japanese researchers studying centenarians in Okinawa identified a concept called Ikigai, loosely translated as a reason for being. It's the thing that gets you out of bed in the morning. Not a job, not a duty, a purpose. In a study published in Psychosomatic Medicine, adults with a strong sense of purpose had a 15% lower risk of death over 14 years compared to those who reported feeling aimless. And purpose doesn't have to be grand. It can be mentoring a grandchild, growing food, being part of a choir, running a small community group. What matters is that it creates forward motion, a daily pull towards something beyond yourself. Seniors without purpose, research shows, are far more vulnerable to depression, cognitive decline, and social withdrawal, all of which accelerate aging dramatically. Start here. Write down one answer to this question. What would I do every day even if no one paid me? That answer is your starting point. They manage stress through ritual. Chronic stress is quietly one of the most aggressive aging forces known to science. It elevates cortisol. It shortens telomeres, the protective caps on your DNA that determine how fast your cells age. It inflames the cardiovascular system, and it compounds over decades. But here's what's remarkable about the world's longest-lived seniors. They don't have less stress. Life brings grief, loss, illness. At any age, what they have is ritual. In Sardinia, men gather at the end of each day for a community walk and conversation. In Seventh-day Adventist communities in Loma Linda, California, another blue zone, they observe a full day of rest each week. In Okinawa, they sit daily in quiet reflection. These aren't luxuries. They are scheduled stress interruptions that the nervous system depends on to reset. A Harvard study spanning 75 years found that daily rituals of rest and reflection were consistently associated with better health outcomes in aging adults. Start here. Pick one 10-minute daily ritual. Tea in silence, a short prayer, slow breathing before bed, and protect it like an appointment. Okay, we're halfway through, and I want to ask you something. Of those 4 habits so far, daily movement, plant-forward eating, having a purpose, managing stress through ritual, which one do you already do? Drop it in the comments right now. And stick around, because habit number 6 is the one that surprised researchers the most. They expected it to matter. They did not expect it to matter this much. They treat sleep like medicine. Here it is. The habit researchers say is most underestimated. Sleep, not just any sleep, consistent, deep, sufficient sleep. And most seniors who live long lives are fiercely protective of it. Dr. Matthew Walker, neuroscientist at UC Berkeley, describes sleep as the single most effective thing a human being can do to reset brain and body health. During deep sleep, the brain activates its lymphatic system, a biological waste-clearing process that flushes out toxic proteins linked to Alzheimer's disease. People who consistently sleep fewer than 6 hours a night have dramatically elevated risks of cardiovascular disease, cognitive decline, obesity, and immune dysfunction. Meanwhile, adults who maintain 7 to 9 hours of consistent sleep, same bedtime, same wake time, show measurably slower cellular aging in studies using telomere length as a marker. Long-lived seniors in blue zones also nap. A 30-minute afternoon nap, taken regularly, was linked in one Greek study to a 37% reduction in heart disease mortality. Start here. Set a consistent bedtime tonight and keep it for 14 days straight. Watch what changes. They're intentional about what they drink. The final habit is simple, but the specifics matter. Long-lived seniors drink water as their primary beverage. Not juice, not soda, not energy drinks. Water, consistently, throughout the day. Beyond water, 2 beverages appear repeatedly in longevity research. Green tea, particularly in Okinawa, contains compounds called catechins, which reduce inflammation, improve metabolic health, and protect the cardiovascular system. Some studies suggest 3 to 4 cups per day is associated with significantly lower rates of stroke and heart disease. And red wine, in moderation, specifically in Sardinia, where locally produced wine called Cannonau contains 2 to 3 times the antioxidant levels of most other wines. The operative word is moderation, 1 small glass per day, with a meal in a social setting, not a bottle alone. The pattern here isn't about a magic drink. It's about avoiding beverages that spike blood sugar, drive inflammation, and disrupt sleep. Start here. Replace 1 sugary drink today with water or green tea. 1 swap. Build from there. Let's bring it all together. The 7 things seniors who live 10 years longer consistently do. 1. They move naturally every single day. 2. They eat mostly plants and stop at 80% full. 3. They wake up with a purpose, an Ikigai. 4. They interrupt stress through daily ritual. 5. They stay deeply connected to a community. 6. They protect their sleep like it's medicine. 7. They hydrate well and avoid inflammatory drinks. None of these require money. None require a gym membership or a specialist. They require intention and repetition. Here's your challenge. Pick one of these 7 habits and commit to it for the next 21 days. Just one. Drop it in the comments. Tell me which one you're starting with. I read every comment, and I want to hear from you. If this video gave you something valuable, share it with someone you love, a parent, a sibling, a friend. This information can genuinely change the trajectory of a life. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself. You're worth the effort.